Alright, so Captive Jund. We actually played a black-red mid-range deck a little bit ago, and I said I felt like I wanted a splash color to really make it work. And if you look at this, this is a black-red deck with a very small green splash. We have 2 Vraska Relic Seeker and 2 Assassin's Trophy in here, and these are basically cards that can solve target problem our control deck might be having, right? Like, these cards answer enchantments, they answer artifacts, they help flex us in different spots. So we've got a lot of removal spells. We've got Orzhov Enforcer, which is a card we've played before. I'm really pretty high on this card in mid-range and control decks. It's like a pseudo removal spell that then leaves a flying token behind that can either like block for one of our planeswalkers, or it can pressure the opponent's planeswalkers or something along those lines. In the sideboard here, and this is something that I think is very important in a lot of control decks right now, you'll note I've got 4 Rekindling Phoenix in my sideboard. I want threats in my sideboard that can close the game out when I'm playing against the Nexus decks. You need a way to apply pressure against the combo decks in this format, and Rekindling Phoenix backed up by Duress is one of the ways we can do that. Yeah, so Angrath and Vraska are win conditions. Karn's technically win condition as well, and then we have a couple of copies of Captive Audience here as kind of a big bomb at the top end. So let's dive into some matches. Ooh. I hope they have creatures. Whoop. You cannot change your deck in the middle of a constructed event, which is actually the reason why I play just the traditional queue on stream, so I can make changes to the deck in between matches. Because while this is a deck that I built, this was a captive audience build-around submission, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes and I overlook things, so being able to change things in between is ideal. No turn 4 City's Blessing in this one. Turn 2 Azcanta probably means my hand's not very good. At least definitely not the Ritual of Soot. Counterspell-based control is probably going to be hard for us game 1. I don't have that many win conditions. I don't have any discard spells in my main deck. When was the last time I played a paper standard tournament? I played standard for the SCG Invitational in December. Almost forgot. I was like, it's been a while, but the Invitational in December, I played Pirates. And matches like this one are one of the ones that really make me love Magic as a best of 3 game, because like while I have a really bad matchup in a game in a setup like this game 1, I'm gonna have a much better time post board when I get to cut a lot of these cards like Ritual of Soot that don't have any text here, and board in meaningful cards like Duresses, like Rekindling Phoenix, like more Assassin's Trophies, etc. I might actually just move along with my life here. Let's see if we can find a Planeswalker and resolve it. They probably have a counterspell. I mean, I don't think the Erasure really told them anything they didn't already know. I think I'd be pretty surprised they didn't derive the Jund deck that's doing nothing isn't a control deck. Seems fine. Want to keep all of these to kill Tefris and stuff like that. They might also board in something like Thief of Sanity against us. Pretty clean, easy in, easy out there, like I talked about. We get to swap all of our removal and sweepers for cards that have a meaningful impact against the control deck. Not amazing, but fine. Perfect. Yeah, same here, Isha. I think we're supposed to be, like, negative. I was actually just looking at the weather report because I started seeing snow coming down outside my window. And Christy's got to get the kids from daycare still. Oh, we're only going to get to negative 16 here. Sorry. Not negative 40. Well, I forgot to put a stop on my upkeep, but thankfully I didn't, I drew the land. God bless. What does Christy do for work? She's a business analyst for an insurance company. Stupid stop. Actually, I don't think I'm going to stop during my upkeep here. Because if I draw the 4th land naturally, I want to play a 4-drop next turn. Now, they likely still have Vraska's Contempt in their deck because they're going to know we have Planeswalkers, so they can exile this Phoenix, but it's definitely still great to get this in under a counterspell here, potentially. How did Christiana meet Boy Scouts? There's a co-ed branch of Boy Scouts that is for people ages 14 to 21. She and I both did that during high school. A little bit of undergrad. I think I just want to land. Yeah, Venture Crew. Make sure we tap like this, so that if we hit a Duress, we can cast it. Sure. I don't know why they took 4 there. They're worried about, like, land Karn, I guess. I think I just keep Angrath here. They didn't want me to kill it in response. I guess. Then they could have just done that on their turn. Yeah, I think Angrath... Well, we're not even bottoming too, right? We're bidding. I think he's too good to bid. The problem with jamming here is that when they counter it, it's a 2-for-1 because it took one of my treasures. But like, they're just gonna, I don't have any Duresses handy, so like I just have to like play through these essentially. Yeah, them keeping another card there feels real bad for us. Well, it gives us insulation against the Teferi, which is nice. Yep. These counterspell-based control matchups tend to be hard for decks like this, we're hoping to play against decks where like our Ritual of Soot have text boxes. And like, we have a plan in these matchups, but it definitely doesn't put us ahead. It puts us like at parity, if that. Alright, well, if they don't have a third counterspell, this Eldritch Reborn could do work. I could take a couple of draws that are Duress here. Good chance they have a third counterspell post board. Blue decks tend to board into a lot more disruption. And like, they have Absorb and Sabotage, so unless they're playing a split of them, they likely have more than 4 3-mana counterspells. That's good for us. But they have a Mortify. Nope. Yeah, I agree. We have a real hard time keeping up with their Azcanta. They basically like just start drawing 2 cards per turn. The games we win in matches like this tend to be us getting under them or like getting Planeswalkers to the board quickly and then snowballing our own advantage with them. It's much easier to interact with like a Planeswalker than it is to interact with something like this. So we really want to draw a Planeswalker this turn so we can get down under this Absorb. So Angrath, please. I think I keep that. Hey, Hosinters, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. They're digging for Mortify here before this gives me a Teferi. Okay. If this pops off, we could be in an okay spot still. I get to scry a couple of times here. That is not what I want to do. Discovery is a fine draw. I'm pretty sure it's Teferi. I'm pretty sure whatever I'm getting is just getting killed, so I think I'd like to draw a card.
I know my responsibility. We need to move quickly.
All right. Well, this many treasure maps right in a row might give us a chance here. This is probably getting absorbed, but like something's getting absorbed at some point, so might as well be this. That means, like, they're not absorbing an Eldritch Reborn if they play another Planeswalker out. It's actually his decks, or you play them as crypts. It's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. Some of the decks are card for card with viewers submit, and then we make edits and change them as we play through. And some of the decks are people submit a specific deck idea, and then I build a deck based around the idea that's been submitted. I have no idea, Chef Seth. And I haven't played Tron in a very long time. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to go ahead and scry that to the top again here, just so I can get a counter on this. You don't need to stop on my upkeep, though, which is nice. Draw.
Let's skip to the good part.
Just drawing 2 cards a turn is good, right? Oh, that was loose. I should have scried before we did anything. I guess I still have another draw with this, which is nice. Maybe I should just hold on to this. Yeah, I think I did this a little bit too aggressively here. Definitely taking the absorb. I mean, if they had a contempt for Teferi, they would have contempted him on their turn and never passed the turn to me. So we can infer that they, in fact, don't have... We can infer that they don't have a contempt because they would have played it already. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards here. Because Teferi's uptick is going to untap my treasure coves. I mean, if they tucked their Teferi Tom, I just like have a 1/1 to kill their thing. So like that seems fine. And, like, I'm drawing 2 more cards this turn, and then, like, I'm flipping this and drawing more cards after that. So, like, that also seems fine for me. Hold that thought. I believe in a thing called love. Alright, I should have left a treasure cove up to sack a treasure token, but that's fine. That's fine. That animation was great. Does this actually do anything? Here's the real question. They just they give me zombies and then they cast Kaya's Wrath, right? I guess it gets Kaya's Wrath out of their hand. I guess eventually it puts them to 4. Yeah, so this turn it doesn't do anything, right? Yeah, there's no Banefires in my deck, which might be a mistake. Maybe there should be some Banefires in my deck. Hey, Savage, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it.
You know what? I'm not done.
Send Elves list, perfect. The choices we make reveal who we are. You're so insightful, Karn. Yeah, a couple of Banefires is probably necessary for my sideboard. And they have to Teferi tuck the Teferi.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
Alright, got the scoreboard at least. We've made it to the scoreboard. Oh, the Phoenix made it so they die. Got it. They didn't hit the land. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm happy with how I'm boarded. I like that every step of the captive audience triggering has a bit of an animation. It's a really nice touch. It's like, well, this seems great. Azcant is very, very good. I concur. I'm gonna make a note to restart my client and chill after this match. We're heading towards the audio bugging out again. Yeah, all the mythics have animations. Sure. Treasure Map was like quietly the MVP of that last game, right? Like it increased the quality of our draw a great deal and then like drew us a bunch of extra cards. We have a way to deal with Azcanta. We have 3 copies of Assassin's Trophy in our deck. Yeah, exactly. The fact that we're like a black control deck or non-blue control deck that can play a cantrip is very, very potent as well. Feels fantastic. Dig for some lands. Probably play another treasure map this turn. It's not a green source, but just like hitting lands in general is pretty good here. Do I want to play a treasure map into a counterspell? I don't think I do. I'm actually just going to go ahead and Discovery here. That seems fantastic, right? I think I'm in for both of those. Thanks, Troy. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. How many Ravager Wurms are we playing? Crap, that's totally a card we could play, huh? I like that addition. I love being able to make edits in between. Ravager Wurm. That's probably better. I've got 2 of these stupid Rakdos things in my deck. Ravager Wurm's probably much better. I love that idea. Do I jam the bird here or do I play another map? I'm going to play another map. I think whatever I play is getting countered, but like this lets me scry twice with this to like work my way towards another land drop. Yeah, it's a good question. What is a cantrip? A cantrip refers to any card that draws a card, just a single card. So like Chemist's Insight, for example, would not be considered a cantrip, but Discovery is because it draws a single card. Card that replaces itself with another card. And yeah, the people that said it's a throwback to D&D, that is correct. Cantrips are what 0 level spells are referred to as in Dungeons & Dragons. And you can use 0 level spells any number of times per day. Still not a green source, but worth keeping, I think. Treasures are technically green mana. Eventually, at some point. It's just like, ideally, you don't want to use these as a green source because each one of these represents a card that we could draw. Love to draw like a Duress here, so I can Duress into a Planeswalker. Captive Audience could be good eventually. I feel like whatever I do here is getting countered. Would I rather this get countered or this get countered? I'm gonna play Karn, so that way if they let him resolve, he can hopefully draw land. Devious cover up, rude. Would a card that brings back another card from the graveyard be considered a cantrip? Not by a strict definition of it. I'm gonna lead on this and see if they take the bait if they have a negate. Huh. Alright, let's jam this. So it'd make me sacrifice both of these. Let's not, actually. Perfect. So now it's important that I jam a card that they need to counter every single turn. So that way I can hopefully keep them from activating Azcanta every turn. Because every turn they have with Azcanta, my cards get less and less likely to resolve. Because Azcanta is just going to, like, increase the quality of the cards in their hand drastically. Good spot check with the Duress here. You're getting close to Chromium. But that being said, even once they get close to Chromium, like, Angrath's going to be able to power through a little bit. So we're trying to dodge Negate here. Negate and Disdainful Stroke are real good against us. RNA has not reached paper yet. It releases, well, it released last night, technically, I believe. Why not Angrath -3 to kill the flyer? Because I was expecting them to have a counterspell.
No fire, no steel.
That's a fantastic draw for them. Because it means they can, take my Captive Audience. Because I was planning just, like, jam Captive Audience when they tapped out for this. Oh, I guess they have Mortify. Yes, they have Mortify. Honestly, I'd probably still just jam this if they leave it. Because they have Mortify, they might leave this and take Vraska. And then if they Vraska's Contempt this, I'm going to jam the Captive Audience. Yeah. Let's just do that. And then even if they mortify us next turn, they still get one trigger off of it. Yeah, Mortify is a reprint of an older card from back when we could target our own stuff. Once upon a time, you could only destroy stuff you don't control. That wasn't a thing. Why am I scrying on their upkeep and sometimes their end step? It depends on how much mana I have available. So, like, last turn, for instance, I didn't scry on my upkeep because if I scryed on my upkeep, I would be short a mana from casting Captive Audience without using my treasure token. And I don't want to use my treasure token to cast Captive Audience because, what's the word I'm searching for? Because my treasure token represents drawing a card later. It's been a good set of games. Like I said, I think this matchup's really hard for us game one, but we definitely have tools to win in the 16. Don't I want to have Bedevil up? I mean, I technically have Bedevil up with Treasure Map here. Yeah, the fact that they went to 4 makes this Vraska really punishing for them. Yep. And remember, these pirate tokens have menace. That is also an excellent draw. Yikes! They hit the negate. Maybe I should have trophied in response. I probably should have trophied in response. Maybe a small punt. Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 worms to the deck after this for sure. I don't know if we actually need Banefire after watching that match play out. We might just have enough tools between the Duresses and stuff like that. I think I want the Worms just because, like, this card's a little mediocre and Wurm is, like, a card that's really overperformed for me. It was a card that I forgot about. And, like, green might be a little bit tough, but, like, we don't need green till 6, which seems reasonable. I think I'm gonna swap this. Yeah, Wurm hits people like a truck. You know, I don't know that I need Banefire in this deck, honestly. Like, looking at what we have going on. I might want one more moment in the 75. Just, like, respect the red decks a little bit. Not having 3 is probably a little bit loose. Update the Stream Decker. I like that captive audience actually did something here too, which was great. Oh, I want to restart Arena 2. These people are great. Please consider buying their stuff. These people also great. Please consider buying their stuff. Back to Magic Arena. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Pretty awesome. We're up to 2,700 people. Hope you're having a good Friday. Good start to your weekend wherever you're at. I'm doing a long stream today. Been going for about 7 hours. I think I'm gonna go for 5 or 6 more. Let's head back on into Captive Jund here. We just kicked this one off. That was our first match there against the control deck. Is Fountain of Renewal a good card against RDW? It's reasonable. It's like above average. Listen, chat, once I pass like the 7-hour mark, it's only gonna be super fast shills the rest of the day. We run super long. Gotta save the energy for the actual games. Easy mulligan. This hand's like not great, but if it hits the second land, it's fine. You know what's funny? That picture about subreddit people asking for deck lists, I don't feel bad for most streamers. Most streamers don't make the deck list that they're playing accessible. Like, if every major streamer took the time to, like, have their deck be available by typing !deck in their chat, like, that would just be the norm and nobody would ask. Well, he missed our second land on 2, but hitting it on 3 along with Ritual of Soot against a Knight of Grace deck probably means we could be okay. Well, I've got 3 Moment of Cravings in my main deck that can possibly get rid of this. So we're bottoming anything that's not a land or a moment here. Yeah, the promo code works on Amazon, Red Mage Frank. So that bit.ly should take you to Amazon. I have no idea. So this was a viewer submitted deck idea that I then put together based around captive audience being in a control deck, and we played 1 match against Esper, and now we're playing more games here. Most of what we do on this stream is exploring new ideas. Hopefully by, you know, after the time we play them for an hour and a half, we could have a better feel, but to start, definitely have no idea what's up. How much should you expect to shell out for rare lands plus the core mythic and rares? It's about $100 to get your first deck, and then to pick up more stuff past that, it depends on what exactly you want to pick up. Let's go ahead and super dead to these Adantos at this point. It's funny, the Worm is actually a pseudo answer to Adanto in a way, because it just blocks, right? Which is sweet. Yeah, some of the decks are super cheap, some of them are more expensive. The number of rares and mythics that are in your deck is what's gonna vary the cost by the greatest amount. So definitely want the Cries and the last Moment of Craving here. Honestly, Enforcer might be really bad here. This is better against the mid-range decks, and it doesn't line up well when I'm bringing in my own Cry. So I just like trim these and bring in the Ritual of Soot as well. This seems fine. I don't think I want the Cast Down. I guess Cast Down's probably better than Assassin's Trophy in a lot of spots. I mean, there's definitely more to streaming than getting deck lists, but like, I was just saying, like, someone said, you know, someone was making a joke about streamers always getting asked for decks, and I was just commenting that most streamers, it's their fault that they get asked for decks as often as they do. There's a lot of good tools to make your deck list accessible to folks. Yikes, Magic. Alright, sure. Doesn't have a way to kill Adanto, but maybe they won't have double Adanto this game. Alright, our turn for a freebie. Play an actual game 3. Oh, Magic. This is why best of 1 is so silly in my opinion. Like, there's so many non-games in Magic that, like, you need 3 to, like, actually understand what's going on. And, like, even when this happens, it's still best of 1 because I get to make an educated mulliganing decision knowing what I'm playing against. And I get to board in and not have a bunch of clunky cards in my deck against the aggro deck. It's just cumulative variance, yep. I don't know, boarding in the Phoenix against the deck that probably has Conclave Tribunal also seems pretty bad. Deadweight is a reasonable counter to Adanto. I think in general you'd rather play Fungal Infection though, or something like Moment of Craving. Is my opponent not playing an aggro deck? Do they just, like, have a weird draw? I guess we saw Fountain of Hope game 1. Maybe their deck's like this weird hybrid. Like, they're going to be drawing 2 cards a turn here. Maybe I should have just trophied the Dawn of Hope here. Yeah, I think maybe I should have just trophied Dawn of Hope to deny them extra cards. I get Treasure Map going this way, so, like, they're getting that first, but I'm going to get Treasure Map going sooner. little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Not quite ready for that one yet. And suddenly pretty happy to have Captive Audience still in my deck, right? They could be a traditional board play, but we saw this game one, so they could just be playing like mono white cards they own. Just Hoagland, Red Mage Frank. Just my last name. Bedazzle. That's an interesting one to comment on. I could see that being reasonable. So I think the stop bug is actually a visual bug more than anything. I think I'm actually going to Bedevil this Fountain of Renewal. And it's worth noting here, because I misread what my opponent was playing, this could have been my third Assassin's Trophy. But instead, it's this, so I can't kill this Dawn of Hope. Hey, the Resurrected one with the brand new Prime Support. Welcome, I appreciate that. Yeah, Bedek, maybe Bedek is better than, like, this Cast Down. Or it's better than, like, say, the fourth Moment of Craving. So, do I want to burn 2 treasures to kill this Lyra this turn? I think I do. This card's so flexible, really pretty impressed. And I'm super, I can't believe I overlooked playing this in a control shell. This is like a really great control finisher, right? Like it's a removal spell that's also like random utility in addition to being a finisher. Seems very, very good. I should have left a black mana up here. So that way if Karn draws a non-black land, I can play it. Now I have to play Swamp, so I can Moment of Craving the token that they're going to make. Great, they're going to give me a land anyways. Yeah, I agree. Every deck I put Wurm in, I've been super happy to draw it. Seal away. Rude. Well, I guess it's not too rude if they, if we draw, like, Vraska here, we can, like, kill this and get it back. They make a token at end of turn. I'm gonna go ahead and Moment of Craving it. Damn it. Stupid stop. I can kill it before it deals damage at least. Yeah. Yeah, like, it kills it. Like, as Kanta's a card that really buries us. This card does that nicely, which is awesome. I don't know, Marty. I have to imagine it is. This Jund build actually seems sweet. It's the first Jund build we played that feels pretty reasonable. We played, well, I guess the aggro deck felt reasonable. The mid-range decks we played felt pretty middling. The mid-range decks felt middling. Alright, we're really looking for big Vraska at this point, right? Okay, okay. Let's go looking for big Vraska before we play the Chain Boy out. I think I hold on to the Wurm. Yeah, Moment of Craving is just really good against aggro. And like, Bedazzle is fine, but it's not really good. So that's exactly the issue, Mala. If you don't have priority when you set a stop, there's often lag between when you're setting it in the server and where it's actually at in the game state. So basically the issue is that it's not updating visually, it seems like, where it's actually at on the server backend. Well, that's a fantastic draw. I'm gonna go ahead and kill their Dawn of Hope here, most likely. I think I'd rather kill their Dawn of Hope than get one of these back. And I don't really know what their deck is doing. Do I just play the Ravager Wurm out here? I think so. Gonna like give this haste and kill their stupid thing. Give them the worm. Yeah, between Wurm, and this is like what you just really love to see out of your control deck is that like we have interaction that's also finishers. When your finishers also interact when you're not ready to start finishing the game, it's just one of the best things you could be doing as a control deck. Wow, super punished. Super punished for my choosing to be aggressive there. So again, really looking for 6 mana Vraska at this point. Thank you.
Ah, you'll be nothing but slag when I'm done with you.
And right, we thought they were an aggro deck after game 1. Almost forgot.
No fire.
Dink.
No steam.
This also kills Pro Black. That also kills Pro Black. We have a lot of answers to protection for Black. Don't mind Angrath, he's just here grinding away. There's 7 cards in their bin.
No steam.
There's ultimate does 7 at the moment. Yeah, we're pretty done here. I feel like the collection of answers in this deck are like really a testament to like the flexibility and variety of answers that Wizards has been printing into Standard recently. Like Bedevil, I restarted during the shills, so I already restarted it. So like Bedevil, Trophy, Wurm, like all of these cards just flex into being good in so many different spots. Captive Audience is a little bit slow, but like Treasure Map plus Bedevil is probably a keepable hand. Plenty of lands that represent all of our colors. Perfect. Discovery to go digging if we need something specific. How's Audience been? Audience actually helped us win both games against Esper Control when we played it earlier. So our game 1 matchup against Esper seems real terrible, but post-board we've got a lot of good tools. I bet Angrath would have software. I bet Angrath probably wouldn't let you get close enough to find out. That was, yeah, I think that was the reading captive audience pause. I think that's 100% what that was. Hey, Dante Fiera, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Main deck enchantment removal. I think in best of 1, it's a must-have. I think in best of 3, it's probably fine. Probably could get by without it on occasion. Well, they're missing land drops, and we have too many. So, Screw tends to beat Flood, especially when they hit 4, which isn't really screwed anymore. Yikes. Like I said, I really don't mind flooding in game 1 in a matchup like this. This is a matchup that's, like, pretty impossible for us. Game 1, it's impossible. We have a lot of, like, Ritual of Soot and stuff that don't line up well. Isn't the 2/2 Flash Death Touch Pirate better than just the 1/2? Nope. I don't know what it is. Magic players, people, it might not even be a Magic player thing. Maybe it's just a human thing. But people really like to just be like, well, this thing is strictly better than this other thing that's just different. It's like, well, that's not strictly better. They're actually just, like, different. Like, there's some similarities, but functionally they do a lot of different things. I think this seems fine. Last time I left a couple of Orzhov Enforcers in against Esper, but now we have Worms. I think this seems reasonable. Running Cry over Demise. I think a question like that depends on, like, what actually ends up being played in the format. If, like, Judith decks actually see play, then playing Cry is pretty valuable. But playing the game out to see what the matchup is to be better, I mean, in a strictly optimal sense, sure, more information is better. But, like, let's say, for example, I'm playing this match in Tournament Magic. Not playing that game out to its conclusion is often going to be right in competitive Tournament Magic as well. Because in Tournament Magic, while there's not time EV and valuing my time, there is a round timer that you have to work against as a mid-range or control mirror. So, like, get matches like that will often have concessions early in Paper Magic as well, so you don't risk drawing the match. Exhaustion over the course of the day is another consideration as well, for sure. How am I expecting the board? I have no idea. It's really, and that's one of the things that's important about being flexible as an experienced player early in a format especially, is that I can't really know exactly what they're doing, so we're going to have to adapt on the fly. And that's also where modal spells come in, because things that answer a variety of things kind of let you be more flexible when it comes to sideboarding. I am currently standing. Alright, you have countered my third map, opponent. You got me. Absorb plus Dawn of Hope is actually kind of sweet. Yeah, I'm in for a land. Build your own cryptic command, yep. Very, very carefully is how you absorb a map, I'd imagine. If you were going to India or FNM and knew your deck wanted 2 -2 decks, would you split them? No, I'd probably play Cry. Unless my deck has a lot of creatures in it, and I think I'm turning on the City's Blessing for Golden Device very consistently, I would probably just play Cry because there's much higher upside. Mission briefing, that's cute. Alright, so they shocked that in, so that probably means they have a 3-mana counterspell here. Not really looking for a land. Looking for a copy of Duress, basically, right? Yeah, Marty, that's why I didn't even talk about that. How do you answer planeswalkers? I don't know. It's like at the end, some people, you can drown a horse trying to make it drink or something like that. It could be a Mortify as well. That's true. That's very true. So Bedevil doesn't kill devils. The Vorthos behind Bedevil, I'm pretty sure, is the devils killing something else. Nice, Popticon. Pan, I don't know. You've got Leech Speak in your name. Let's just say Pan. Congrats. The Angels deck is good.
If you show remorse,
Is it worth cashing in 2 of my treasures to guaranteed kill this Teferi? God, it probably is, isn't it? Yeah.
now what? We need to move quickly.
I don't mind sticking the devils on Teferi. He deserves it. Yikes. Problem is, they're drawing 2 cards a turn from this Dawn of Hope. Probably going to get buried from that. This is different from the last Esper deck we played against. They did not have access to Dawn of Hope. It's been very good for them both of these games.
Right on schedule.
Yeah, we're flooding a little bit too, but the Dawn of Hope is just like gonna bury us, it looks like. We're missing on lands though still. We might be able to beat them based on resource efficiency. We can maybe stop flooding. Are there 26 lands in this deck, or are there only 25? I think there's only 25, right? Because I have 4 cantrips. There are only 25 lands in this deck. Gross. We have plenty of answers to enchantments, Calendras. We've got Vraskas, we've got Assassin's Trophies. When you don't have spells, it doesn't matter what spells you put in your deck. Just like you're gonna die. Move along with the lives. Mosey on along. This is game 2. We mulligan and died game 1. Just how it goes sometimes. Remember, If you're miserable sitting there against Teferi because you could never win, that's a sign that you should concede. The Teferi deck wins the game long before it kills you. One of the best things you can learn about playing Magic the Gathering is identifying when the control deck can no longer lose, and then conceding accordingly. What are we doing? We'll see how long this match goes. If this match goes quickly, we'll play one more after this. This match takes a while. We'll play... This will be the last one. Okay. Okay. To play against Aggro sounds good. Why did viewers submitted decks all the way through seem a little rough? I think most of the decks we play on this stream are like pretty reasonable. And the things that don't seem reasonable, we can like play in the normal traditional queue. Also, like, I don't necessarily care about climbing the ladder, right? Like, if the ladder prizes for next season are the same as the prizes for this season, like, I don't need to grind it all. Like, there's nothing, like, the prizes aren't significant in the slightest. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the 2-for-1 here, clean this up. I don't really care about that tick box next to the name. Like, having top 100 mythic isn't gonna suddenly, like, give me more stream viewers, so I don't really care about it. Yeah, I'm probably going to casually hit mythic just through, like, the weight of playing an infinite number of games, right? Like, I'm here playing Magic 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. I mean, like, even if your goal is earning prizes, you shouldn't be playing on the ladder. Like, if you compare the prizes you get for playing on the ladder to playing in, like, the entry fee constructed events, your time is much better spent playing in the events. So I'm going to scry so this can make treasures. I'm going to go ahead and hit my opponent with my worm. Just whip my worm out. Ah! Thunk thunk. Did you enjoy my worm opponent? Was it good for you? Oh, good for me. Your crew for my freedom. And again, like, this is such a great example of why this card is great. I could even see this deck wanting a third copy of the Wurm. Like, that was such a clean example of it. It came down, it was a removal spell that was meaningful, and then it just, like, closed the game out extremely quickly. Very, very impressed. This is probably supposed to come out against aggro. Probably trim a couple Bedevils. Discovery. Let's look 2 discoveries and a couple Bedevils. Wurm did a Glorybringer impersonation. Yeah, basically. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think this card was going to be better than Carnage Tyrant ever, but I was very, very wrong about that. This card's super playable. You can see all the decks that we have coming up later today listed in my stream title, as well as the exact deck list and the deck queue on my website. I think I want to just do this and then Moment this turn. Maybe I wasn't expecting Lava Coil in their deck. Maybe I should have Moment of Craving done too instead of playing the Enforcer. Yeah, I agree. Enforcer's great in general. I mean, there's actually a good answer to, like, why play Jund over straight Rakdos, and that's, we actually played Rakdos midrange earlier today. That highlighted some of the good issues with just playing a straight Rakdos deck. Having access to cards that are green in order to solve problems, like your opponent having, what's it called? Your opponent having enchantments and stuff like that, it's like a big deal. 1 afterlife creature, please. 1 afterlife creature, please. Trigger. And, like, while Gutterbones comes back, if I block here, they're kind of choked on mana, right? So, like, making them spend mana to do that is, like, very valuable. Also, like, they might, like, take a turn off and, like, kill Angrath, which is, like, great for me. If Angrath reads, like, gain 4, kill your creature, make a 1/1, like, that's a win overall. I'm not going to scry during my upkeep next turn because, ideally, I want to draw an untapped land and play a 6-drop. If I miss the land, we'll reassess what spell we drew, but then probably Treasure Map plus Bedevil. And the other thing to consider is, like, because we have all the shocklands and checklands in Standard right now, splashing is pretty free overall. So, like, the upside you gain from splashing a 3rd color to solve problem permanent is often far outweighed by any negatives you have from splashing that color into your deck, especially when the splash is very light, mostly for expensive spells like these. Easy block here if they give me the option. They have Cast Down in their deck too. Wild. I guess we really put the fear of the Wurm in them, huh? Really want to draw 6 lands so we can Wurm. Okay, Orzhov Enforcer is actually a great draw. It means I can Bedevil plus this and not take any more damage this turn. Wow, they have so much removal in their deck. So now I explicitly need a non-shock land. Please attack Angrath. I think attacking me is super right here. Alright, game 3. I think my biggest mistake that game was I wasn't expecting them to have a bunch of removal spells in their deck. So I like played Orzhov Enforcer on 2 because it was the higher upside play, and then they like killed it and hit me, where if I would have just played my Moment of Craving on 2, I would have been much better off. So I think if I would have Momented on 2, I probably would have had enough health there to play that shock land at the end. Fine, we get to play game 3. I'm gonna mulligan this. It has all my colors, but it doesn't have any removal, and all my lands needing to deal damage to me feels real bad. This hand's much better. Bottom that, looking for a third land. Hopefully they don't have infinite lava coils again here. Nah, I don't think so, Fenrir. I think they're still pretty likely to have a lot of early pressure, a lot of early threats, and like I have enough top end to like not want that to be happen. Captive Audience is like a finisher for like mid-range and control matchups more than anything. Man, Orzhov Enforcer lines up really well against Vicious Conquistador. Like, come at me, bro. It's just like can't attack. We've not played Lumbering Battlement. Judy! Pretty bad spot here, huh? I guess I should have chump blocked with the 1/1 because I was just gonna die to the trigger anyways. So yeah, I should be 2 higher. But I made a bad block. Cast down, notably can't hit Judith. So that's why we're killing the Conquistador. So I could be at 17 here with better play. One higher because the trigger would have hit us. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. So I'd be at 16 with better play. No other threats here is quite fantastic for us, though. We are missing green mana, notably. Yeah, I don't post videos while I'm still streaming Low House. So if I played a deck this morning, it's not going to get posted until I'm done streaming for the day. Let's try one more. How do you deal with Wilderness Reclamation / Nexus of Fate decks? Sideboard cards. You play cards like Duress, Negate, Cindervines, and you pair them with cards that can apply pressure to your opponent while doing so. Stands pretty slow, but there's a lot of mid-range decks in this format. He says he pairs back into aggro again. Alright, lands for the next 3 turns, please. Yikes. That at least is a card that can maybe help us find some more lands here. That's almost like a land, right? Our hand is old enough to drink. Probably not a good sign. Do I keep the Ritual of Soot? If I keep the Ritual of Soot, I guaranteed miss my 4th land next turn. But if I hit it the following turn, that's probably fine. Like, the spells that are in my hand don't let me beat the board at the moment. So I, like, get to, like, Bedevil, the Priest of Forgotten Gods next turn. And then, like, hopefully hit a land the following turn for the Ritual of Soot. Woof. No, not really. If it's so important to someone, to whatever their ego or desire to win a single match of Magic is, they need to watch the stream while we're playing. Like, they probably need to win the match of Magic more than I do, and I'll survive. Probably dead here. I don't think we could really afford to stumble. Pretty unfortunate that we cast double cantrip and then still didn't hit 4 lands on time. We're gonna take 5 down to 8. They'll get to play a land off this theater, and like they're pretty close to playing this Angrath out. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. Yeah, they have Angrath waiting to kill us too. Bring in our sweepers and cheaper interaction. Trophy to kill. Kill their theater is probably pretty relevant. Something like this seems fine. I wonder, like, thinking about the decks that we're playing against, I wonder if the 3rd Cry is better than the 4th Ritual of Soot in the sideboard. Seems like it's a real possibility. Like, a lot of the decks that, like, Ritual of Soot's great against, Cry is also great against, but I want more sweepers. And, like, I probably don't need 4 Ritual of Soots against, like, green-black midrange, for instance. What's going on, Mikey? Good evening. Or afternoon, depending on where you're at. Yeah, but, like, obviously Cry is better against Judith, but I think it's more along the logic of, like, decks that I want a lot of sweepers against, Cry and Soot tend to be the same. And I don't think there's, like, what deck do I want 4 Ritual of Soots against where I don't also want Cry? I feel trimming the 4th Phoenix and 4th Duress for 2 Crushing Canopy. Completely think that's a very bad idea. I think trimming the 4th Phoenix might be fine, but I definitely think you want 4 copies of Duress in any of these decks. I think without copies of Duress, you're just going to get dumpstered by counterspell-based control decks as well as combo. And without the Phoenixes, honestly, you probably don't have the pressure to mix in to beat those combo decks either. Yeah, I think that's a mistake in how the deck is built. There should just be more cries and less rituals. Like, rituals better with our own Orzhov Enforcer, but I think that's pretty marginal overall. So, like, do I want 4 Soots against black-green, though? I don't think I do, right? Like, often you don't want to let black-green's boards build up too much, and, like, you're often just 2 for winning Soots, so, like, your spot removal is also good there. Mono blue is a good point, but I don't think that that deck is particularly popular, right? So I don't think, like, making deck building decisions considering mono blue is, like, a worthwhile thing to be doing. Yep. I wouldn't play this deck in best of 1. Decks like this tend to be exceptionally rancid in the best of 1 queue. Decks like this have too many answers that line up poorly into other things to be worth playing in a queue where you don't get to play a sideboard. This is exactly the style of deck that's ideal when you get to play with sideboards, because your deck, generally speaking, gets better post-board against everything. Interactive decks like this tend to be bad game 1. And, like, obviously your game 1 can line up perfectly and you can win game 1s, but you definitely get better post-board against most things than they get against you. Yeah, Cry is much better against mono white. I don't think that's strictly true, Crimson. I think saying best of 1, like, I really hate the whole best of 1 isn't Magic, best of 1's an abomination. It's just silly. There are plenty of people who enjoy playing Magic as best of 1, and you could argue that Magic's been best of 1 far longer than it's been best of 3. Like, casual Magic far outnumbers what competitive Magic is, and sure, competitive Magic historically is always best of 3, but Magic in general is often played as best of 1 in most circles. So I waited to Moment of Craving here until after I blocked, because if I block this, even if they kill my blocker, this still doesn't deal damage to me. Judith is never going to kill Afterlife tokens, because the tokens aren't in play when you choose targets for Judith's trigger. And like I said, there's no need for you to enjoy my little comment there about just, like, you know, best of 1 being fine, it's being something that, like, needs to exist and you just should, like, ignore it if you don't like it. That's what I do. I don't enjoy playing Magic as best of 1, so I don't, but, like, it's okay for it to exist. Yeah, there should be a third Wurm in this deck. This card's absurd. Just like, let me put my brick wall down. Let me know how that works out for you. They draw Spectacle Demon, that would be bad. Just another Instigator, sure. Yeah, Wurm is the truth. I kind of want to build a control deck that just has a bunch of Wurms at the top end now. Is Wurm better than Vraska? Maybe. I like some Vraska at least, because, like, having another way to kill enchantments is valuable. Would I come for the third Wurm? I don't know. We'll take a look at the deck here after we're done playing. After this match, and take a peek at what we would change and why, perhaps. See if we draw. If I drew a copy of Angrath there, I would like to hold the Bedevil. Like, I have plenty of mana, so I can wait to play it. And now, like, this Wurm, like, coffees for closers, and Ravager Wurm's getting himself a cup of joe. It's correct to block the non-token because of Judith. That is correct. I agree with your assessment. This is, and I feel like, so like we've been talking a lot about Esper versus Jeskai on this stream, and like Ravager Wurm in this situation really highlights the difference between those two decks. Like, what Ravager Wurm lets this deck do, it's like this deck's Niv Mizzet, basically. It's a card that lets us, once we've stabilized, it closes the game, so the aggro deck doesn't have time to, like, draw burn spells, or draw more creatures, or Judas to go wide around our defenses. You gotta actually end the game so it doesn't slip away from you. You know, I wonder if I just want Rekindling Phoenix in here. That's probably pretty reasonable, huh? It like blocks their stuff and comes back. Let's bring the Phoenix in. Well, Assassin's Trophy puts the land into play untapped, so it doesn't really matter. In the case of killing Spawn with Assassin's Trophy, you want to do it right away, because Spawn does damage to you during their upkeep. Alright, Cry on 3. Hopefully this game's about to be real easy. Dear opponent, please curve into Judith. If they play even just one more creature out here that isn't like the demon, I'm probably gonna cry next turn. It's like not be greedy and take my 2 for 1. Demon's a little scary. I have Bedevil for that at least. I'm gonna do this now, so this way this doesn't do damage to me next turn. Perfect. Let's see if this gets my stop in. It may or may not. I'm gonna bottom that, looking for like lands and threats at this point. I've got a lot of removal spells in my hand. Bye, friends. Get Bedeviled. Rough. Well, means I have one less threat at least. Yeah. We are playing a kill all the things deck, basically. Our opponent has things and we are taking them down. Brutal. – 19 turns, let's go. That's really unfortunate.
Never seen water burn? I've weathered tougher storms. No fire.
Yeah, the fact that they boarded up a little bit bigger is real tough here for us. They get to Duress me now here too. The Theater of Horror is going to bury us very quickly. Really need to draw like a. I was just saying we need to draw a finisher, but like I was just saying Phoenix, but I actually don't have double red at the moment, which sucks. Yeah, the Sphinx Tempo deck was awesome yesterday. It was definitely my pick of the day for a reason. It's weird that they played Judith out. So it only draws a second card per turn. It's giving you, Theater of Horrors gives you twice as many resources as you would normally have in a turn. That's very powerful. Drawing 2 is twice as many as drawing 1. Doubles you up. And in these matchups where card advantage is king, where like you just want to have the more cards than your opponent, like it's very, very potent. I think we're probably dead at this point. They're just not going to be able to keep up with what they're doing. We're very dead here. Just had the cry just on their early aggro draw, and then just like ended up getting run out by the end. All right, in a move that's gonna surprise few, I'm gonna conclude at the end of that this card is really bad against aggro. It actually won us our match against Esper, games 2 and 3 where we beat the Esper deck. This card came in key. The thing that I took away from this though, again, just like not focusing on specific decks so much as thinking about cards that I like when I'm testing things early in the format. This card continues to impress me, and I really think there's probably some kind of Jund mid-range deck in the format that's like playing 3 or maybe even 4 of these as a top-end finisher that's like also a removal spell basically. Is something I'd be interested in trying. If you wanted to work with this shell specifically, I would probably put another Cry in the sideboard over this last Ritual of Soot. Would be the big change I'd make. I don't know that I'd put Cry in the main over Ritual because it like doesn't interact well with our Enforcer, but I think in general you want to be a little bit more proactive in Magic, and being a little bit less controlling, a little bit more mid-range with Ravager Wurm seems like it's probably a reasonable place to be. This could be like, people have been experimenting with splashes in traditional green-black mid-range. This could also just be like a top-end finisher in that. The update to Arena was just more quality of life stuff today.